Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mana Cave. My name is Ed.
My name's Travis.
And Travis,
Yes, sir.
what are we doing today?
We're doing the 2021 Challenger Decks Standard.
That's right. Something that's still in standard right now. We're putting the Planeswalker decks aside for a while. This was the second most requested type of deck for us to be playing right off the bat, so we're playing it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make this quick because last time we talked for quite a while and we almost ran out of memory in the cameras. So, but I do want to give a few shout outs because we're going to be doing this hopefully every video. And I just wanted to say hi to Marcelo T. I'm not going to, if I think your username is your full name, I'm just going to use your last initial. JC Jennings, Kazi Shawnee, which I don't think is a real name, but if it is, I apologize. Leo M. And the end of his handle is El Propio. Again, I don't think that's part of the name. Also, Andrew R. Shout out to you. These are people, by the way, who've been active in the comment section, who've been very kind to say different things. And finally, Vardman. This is a shout out for you. And you're not seeing it because you specifically said that you skip to this part of the actual video, the talking part.
See what you missed?
Vardman, this is what happens when you do that. You miss your shout outs. So, hey, I'm not saying that like, you should listen to us talk, but sometimes it has its advantages. Anyway, we are playing the 2021 Challenger decks, and we are starting off with which decks, Travis?
Mono Green Stompy. It's easy to remember the name because it's Mono Green Stompy.
Yeah.
2021.
Really went to town naming that one. And I am playing Dimir Rogues, which is a blue-black deck. And that's pretty much my wheelhouse. So I'm very excited now. Neither of us had any chance really to play with these decks at all, sort of test them out. So
A quick peek. That's worth a lot, right?
Yeah. So we have an idea how they work. And there are actually some similar cards in there as the Garroot deck you've been playing recently.
Are there?
A couple.
Oh, yeah. The removal ones.
Not
the
many.
fun ones.
These, for those of you who don't know Challenger decks, but are familiar with our Planeswalker deck videos, Challenger decks are much more powerful than Planeswalker decks. Planeswalker decks are like the training wheel decks to get people into it, and they're purposely underpowered. These decks are meant to be solid, not like necessarily top tier, but solid, standard, ready right out of the box decks.
I think they're all based to some degree on decks that are currently winning in standard or have won. Are there still
that were winning at the time,
yeah.
right? Because one of the decks, for example, is mono red aggro, and there's never not a mono red aggro deck in any standard format which isn't just doing really, really well.
No.
So yeah, so we're going to see how these go, and these are either going to be very quick games or very long games, depending. Sometimes it's just like boom, goes through super quickly. So
could be some surprises to me, like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're gonna learn as we play. So come along with us on this journey. And we're just going to, our hands will have been shown. Travis, you had a mulligan.
I did, and what I ended up with still wasn't great, but I think that's the thing too, is I got to switch over mentally to lower curves.
Yes. Yeah.
Low
And there are,
curves.
that
you know
deck
what I'm saying? One drops.
That deck does have some of those
Sweet
cards. Stop it. It does have some of those cards which also flip over to lands. I think this one has a couple, but not many.
That's a crutch. I'm going to be limping through the first few rounds of my game here.
So I think we're done talking. We should just get into it because otherwise we'll run out of memory again, and we don't want to do that. So Travis,
do you have a black, green, black, blue?
Black, blue. There we go. So we're gonna roll to see who goes first. Beat a 9.
I got to redo that one.
That's cocked, as they say.
7.
Still not 9.
I like how you were fine with it being caught because you were going to win anyway. Like, oh yeah, go ahead.
So I think I'm going to start off.
Okay.
Because I won the roll. I'm going to play a Dismal Backwater. Enters the battlefield tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, I gain 1 life. It can be tapped for blue or black. Puts me up to 21. Already winning. Pass the turn to you.
Dismal Backwater, dude?
Yeah.
For reals?
Yeah.
Okay. I just drew a real card. So I'm going to go ahead and play that forest. I'm going to tap that forest to bring out... This card probably seems so old to now some people, but I'm going to see if I can do this right. It's Lovestruck Beast, which is one with the adventure mechanic.
Yes.
So it has Heart's Desire for 1 green mana, create a 1/1 human creature token. The other part of it, which I cast as a sorcery, the other part of it is the Lovestruck Beast, the card itself, and he can't attack unless I control a 1/1 creature. And that's actually ends up being a 5/5 for 3 mana that can only attack if I control 1/1.
Yeah.
Big spiel there. I'm sure a lot of people, I think it was a pretty popular card in Standard at the time.
Now, these decks come with 15-card sideboards, and they also come with tokens, and that should have
a human female, because this is the fairy tale set, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. So he goes into exile. Exile zone over there.
He goes into on a journey or on
an adventure.
On an adventure.
On an adventure.
Yes.
Bilbo Baggins style. Well, she's there feeding the chickens or something. That's clearly a rooster.
It's clearly a rooster. Clearly a rooster.
I find how much I like their symbol there. The Throne of Eldraine set symbol.
Yeah, it's nice.
Some set symbols I really like. Others I don't. I like that one. My human's not hasty though, so I will pass turn back to you. Don't mean to slow things down with the admiration of the...
No. You go give as much admiration as you want. I will play a swamp, and I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Untap. Draw. Wow, this is weird. Okay. I play... Let me think this through now. So what I'm going to do on this turn, I kind of shouldn't have done that, what I did there. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna play a forest.
Bold move. We'll see how it works out for you.
Well, because we talk about this a lot. Let's say maybe I did have one of those reverse cards, land card and a spell, which initially my head was like, land. I need that land. But maybe some things have changed in the last 2 minutes. That maybe I'm like, hang on now. Hang on. You're a pretty cool card. Maybe I don't got to rush into things. So I played that. I'm going to attack you with my 1/1 human.
Okay. In response, I'm going to tap for both blue and black, and I'm going to flash out the Soaring Thought Thief. It's a 1/3 with flying. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, rogues you control get +1/+0. It is a human rogue. And whenever 1 or more rogues you control attack, each opponent mills 2 cards, which is to take 2 cards from the top of their library and put it directly into their graveyard, and I will block that. In the hopes that you do not have...
I do have. And you know what? I'm just going to do it. It's not going to kill it. So I'm going to tap 1 for an instant called Snakeskin Veil. It is actually from Kaldheim. I got the name right, I think. Put a +1 counter on target creature. It gains hexproof until the end of turn. Now, obviously, I should be saving this for a better creature, my 1/1 token. But you know what?
But at least it's going to live.
At least going to live.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to do any other spells this turn, so we'll finish combat. I mean, there's a block there, and both live. And I pass to you.
Pass to me.
Because I have nothing else to do with that second mana sitting there.
Draw. I am going to play an island. And I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
I'm going to swing in with the Soaring Thought Thief. Now, whenever 1 or more rogues you control attack, each opponent mills 2 cards. So when I go to attacks, you must mill 2 cards.
There's a ram through. And there's a Primal Might.
2 bits of removal.
Yeah, that was 2 bits of removal.
And now you currently have 3 cards in your graveyard.
I do currently have 3 cards.
Okay.
What was that thing about the 8 cards? Whenever...
rogues you control will get +1/+0.
Oh, okay. So no blocks. I just take 1 damage.
Yes.
Down to 19.
My turn still? Correct? Second main phase. I'm going to tap for 2 black and a blue. I lost track of where we were. And I'm going to cast Nighthawk Scavenger. For 1 and 2 black, it is a 1+ star /3 creature. It's a vampire rogue.
Why'd they do that?
It's got flying, death touch, and lifelink. And its power is equal to 1 plus the number of cards among cards. The number of card types among cards in your opponent's graveyards. Cards in graveyards only have the characteristics of their front face. So, for example, you currently have a sorcery, an instant, and another instant, I think it is?
Yes.
So this would currently be a 3/3 because you have those 2 types in your graveyards. That's my turn. I'm going to pass the turn to you now.
Okay. Untap. Draw. All right. So my enthusiasm of my not needing my land earlier is gone. I'm going to play this card. It is the Kazandu Mammoth. It's a 3/3 for 3, or I can tap it as land, which enters tapped, I believe.
Okay.
Pretty sure it enters tapped.
Yeah, I think some of them. I think the only one that doesn't enter
the
tapped, you
mythic.
have the option of paying 3 life in order to have it come untapped. So
okay. Kadzu Valley does enter tapped, and I can tap for a green. All right. So that's currently a 3/3, right?
yes.
Okay. So I'm going to tap 1 for the Swarm Shambler. Swarm Shambler enters the battlefield with a +1 counter on it. Whenever a creature I control with a +1 counter becomes the target of a spell or an opponent controls, create a 1/1 green insect creature token.
Nice.
And I'm just going to put it on last turn, actually. I'm going to put another Lovestruck Beast on another adventure. Because it's not legendary, and neither is the token.
Yeah.
So as far as I understand, it's okay to have 2 of them on their adventure, maybe together. Maybe not. I'm not sure what they're doing there, you know. But did they give me... Oh, they did. Yeah, so there is another 1/1. So I got a 1/1, a 1/1, and a 2/1. This one also has tap 1, tap it, put a +1 counter on Swarm Shambler.
Now,
However,
2 of those have summoning sickness,
two of
except
them
for
do.
the human with a single counter on it.
Which only makes it a 2/2, which is not going to tag on with your 3/3 vampire. So I'm going to pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay. Tap.
Flying, lots of flying. You know which I love flying? Normally I do, when I have the flyers.
I'm going to play Swamp. I'm then going to tap for 2 black, and then 2 of whatever, to bring out a legendary creature, Rankle, Master of Pranks. It's a 3/3. It's got flying and haste. Whenever Master of Pranks deals combat damage to a player, choose any number of the following. Each player discards a card. Each player loses 1 life and draws a card. Each player sacrifices a creature. So, I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing in with all 3. All 3 of these are rogues. So, whenever 1 or more rogues you control attack, each opponent mills 2 cards. So you're going to mill 2 more cards. Now that only puts you to 5.
There's a forest in there.
There's a forest and a creature.
Yeah.
So you now have a sorcery, an instant, a land, and a creature. So this is currently a 5/3. So
I have no flying, no reach blockers, so this is going to hit.
okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage in total.
That makes it easy.
I
9 damage total down to 10.
I gain 5 life because this has lifelink. So I'm up to 26. And when Rankle, Master of Pranks, does combat damage, I am going to have us both discard a card.
I will discard a Lovestruck Beast.
I will discard a Drown in the Loch. That's my turn. You're at 1? You're at 10.
I'm
You're
at
at 10.
10.
I'm looking it upside down, so for me it looks like 1. And I will pass the turn to you.
I feel like I'm being just slightly outclassed. Woohoo! There's a forest.
4th Landia.
All right. A couple options. Neither of them have reach, though. Let me just make sure that my guy does not have reach. He does not have haste or reach. That's not helpful. Okay, so I can definitely bring out my Lovestruck Beast from his adventure. No haste there. You got to tap that to put a +1 counter on, which is unfortunate. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll they all are flying. So I'll hit you for 2, 3, 4.
4?
4.
Okay, so I'm down to any other shenanigans?
No.
I'm down to 22.
No other shenanigans.
Okay.
No flying blockers, no shenanigans. Over to you, sir.
How many cards do you have in your graveyard?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'll hit the magic 8.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so untap.
It's a decent uncommon, brah.
Draw. I'm going to play an island. And I think I'm just going to move to combat.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I'm going to swing in with the team. So rogues are attacking, so 2 go to the graveyard.
Scavenging Ooze. And Stonequill Serpent.
So that is an artifact as well, too. So that is another, so that's 5 plus 1, 6, plus an additional 1, because now you have 8 cards in there. So 5 plus 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage right now flying towards you.
Look at my big green guy, though. He's got a big old hammer. I have no responses to that 13 in the air. Holy cow. It's turn 5, though, you know.
We've just finished, was it four games in a row of Planeswalker Decks, or three matches in a row, 3 videos in a row of Planeswalker Decks? This is like
lightning speed.
Yeah, it's like driving a Vespa and then hopping on the back of like a souped up Harley. It's just crazy, the difference in gameplay. That was just nuts. That was absolutely crazy.
Sideboard.
Yes. So now we're going to look at our sideboards, decide if we are going to sideboard any cards. If we do, there'll be some graphics showing up that's going to show what we are sort of swapping in for one for the other. And yeah, we're going to get to the second game of this match right now. And we're back in the second game of the first 2021 Challenger Decks Showdown. Now, that first game went crazy quick compared to what we've been doing recently.
Oh, I guess I should take my life total.
Oh yes, definitely don't take that disadvantage. So yeah, I don't know if that's how this deck normally runs, but if it does, I'm thrilled. Now, you sadly did lose, but you do get to go first, but you had to mulligan again?
I had to mulligan again. I'm finding, again, maybe I just need more than one land in my head and in my heart. So I'm having trouble finding lands, but I'm like, I think I have to rely more on on relying on these land dual cards.
Yeah, the ones that you can flip for either land or some other creature or effect. Yeah,
I'm not using them too much. You probably saw that I sideboarded big time. I don't think I need to give anything away by saying I might have put something in there to do with flyers. Maybe I might have, because there is stuff in here.
Probably not a bad idea in this particular, especially considering everything had flying. So yeah.
And quick.
Well, feel free to kick us off.
Okay. I am going to play. Sure, I'm going to go ahead and play that forest. I'm going to tap that forest for the Swarm Shambler. We did see him last time. Enters the +1 counter on him. Whenever a creature I control with a +1 counter on it becomes target of a spell and ability. The last game went so quick, maybe nobody even got to know what happened here. I get to create a 1/1 insect, and I can tap 1 in it to put a +1 counter on it. Just nice. 1/1.
Just 1? My turn?
Yeah.
So draw. I'm going to play a Temple of Deceit. Enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, I get to scry 1, and I can tap it for blue or black. So I'm going to scry 1. And I'm going to put this on the bottom of my deck. And I'll pass the turn to you, sir.
Okay. Tap. Draw. So now I'm going to play one of those cards you talked about. So this is Kalini Ambush. One side of it is target creature I control fights target creature I don't control. It's instant for 3 mana. So the mana value is a little overcosted, but it is an instant still. And the other side is also a tap land.
Which is super important when you're hurting for land, right?
Yeah. Because I didn't draw. But that's good, because I still have that.
And we were talking about this before we started recording the second game, but those completely went under my radar when they were spoiled ages ago, because I was not really paying attention to Magic at the time. But the utility of those cards are quite good.
Yep.
I'm probably I might have undervalued them when they first came out, but now I can definitely see the potential of them. So
if you also did undervalue them and you were in a pre-release and you picked up a couple of them, they might actually be worth a little bit of money, these uncommons, because
really
I think this was like a $3 uncommon, and
oh wow,
people wanted a lot of these, especially this one and the one that you get to take a card from your graveyard. I think they're both went pretty fast, and not important though. Just saying, if you got some of these ones, check up on the price of them. I'm going to tap 1 for the Wildwood Tracker. It's a 1/1. Whenever it attacks or blocks, if I control another non-human creature, it gets +1/+1 to the end of turn. So my fungus is a non-human creature.
Nice.
I'm going to attack you for 1 and point out that I should have actually done that the other way. Played him turn 1, played him turn 2, and then he'd be attacking for 2. So in case anyone saw that mistake with my opening hand, I caught it just a little too late. So I only do 1 damage to you. If I lose by 1 like I did that other game, that was a mistake right there.
That would have cost you the game.
Yeah.
And then, man, you're going to get it in the comment section.
That's probably not going to cost me the game, that one little thing, but I passed to you.
Okay. tap. Alrighty, I'm going to play... Let's go ahead and play a swamp. And I am just going to go ahead and, I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Yeah, he is. All right, I'll untap. Draw. No. I'm going to go to combat.
Okie dokie.
So I'm going to swing. So he's attacking. He's attacking as a 2/2. He's attacking as a 1/1.
Okay. I'm going to tap for 2, including blue and black. Bring out, we saw it last time, the Soaring Thought Thief. And I'm going to put that in front of the 1/1.
Okay. Before we... So you play him, he hits the battlefield. Is there a chance to respond to that before we go to blocks?
Oh, yeah, there is. There is. Before. So it basically, I played that. So now... instead of just moving priority forward to...
It's okay. Well, because normally it doesn't matter.
No.
This time it does. So pre-blocks, I'm going to pay 1 green for an instant called Run Afoul. Ooh. Target opponent sacrifices a creature with flying.
Nice.
Sideboard, baby.
There we go. So that one...
The key there is I can do it before blocks, so I can still get my 1 damage
yes,
through.
You can,
so that's why the timing on that was kind of important. Because, I mean, obviously it still would have killed the creature.
But this way you get to put the damage through.
This way I get a damage through. So woot woot. Chugga chugga choo choo. All right. So now take your 3, kind sir.
3 damage. Okay, so I'm down to 16.
Feeling a little more confidence deck. Shouldn't, but I passed to you.
Passed to me? Okay. Draw. Okay. I'm going to play an island. Now, what was that? If what happens?
If he becomes a target of a spell, not an ability, a spell, I get to create a 1/1 insect.
Okay.
You know what? How about I read it again verbatim, just so I know, because I'm not familiar. There's like 3 sections here. He enters with a +1 counter. We got that covered. Whenever a creature I control with a +1 counter, so it's not just him, apparently, it's any creature with a +1 counter becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls. Because last time I think you had something with an ability. I was wondering if you did that. It wouldn't have mattered. Then I get to create a 1/1 green insect creature.
Oh, a sacrifice ability sort of thing, which would have been your doing, not my doing it.
That was Rankle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If I'd sacrifice a creature, by the way, it's also tap 1, tap it, +1 counter on the Swarm Shambler.
Cool.
So if you want to remove it, I get a little worm or insect.
I will pass the turn to you.
Dun, 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 dun. TSN turning point here. Can he draw that third land?
Turning point.
3 lands, confidence, sky high. Going back to attacks.
Okay.
2/2, 1/1.
I'm going to tap for 2, including 1 black, and I'm actually going to cast Eliminate. It's an instant. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less. And I'll do it on the tracker.
Tracker hits the bin.
So damage.
Damage goes through, just 1.
Just 1, so down to 15.
Second main phase, I'm going to tap for 3. All of it green. Every last bit of it is green. For Yoro, Lord of Garenbrig. You have to do it like this, because he's the Lord of something. He's a legendary creature, giant noble. He enters the battlefield with 4 +1 counters on him. So 4/4 for 3. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on Yoro. Then, if that creature's power is greater than Yoro's power, put another +1 counter on it. So we can get big. And he also has, if you try targeting him at this point, I'll get a +1 creature. Because
you'll get just 1, though, not
just 1.
No, it's not equal to the number of counters you have, right?
No.
Okay.
It's just a... Yeah.
Yeah. It's good, though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. I'm pretty happy. So far, so good. Past you?
Pass to me. Okay, so untap. I am going to play a swamp.
That's 4 lands. Now I'm worried.
It's 4 lands. I'm going to tap for black, and then I'm going to tap for black and 2 more. I'm going to cast Bloodchief's Thirst. I'm going to cast it with its kicker's cost. It's a sorcery. The kicker is 2 and 1 black. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with a converted mana cost 2 or less. If this spell was kicked, instead destroy target creature or planeswalker. So I'm going to destroy that, but I'm targeting it with a spell.
You are. So I will get consolation prize of a 1/1 insect.
I mean, you're slowly chipping me down. So
I didn't get a chance. Lord Garen didn't get a chance.
Pass the turn to you.
He's going to be possibly bigger than he was. Possibly even bigger. Untap. Draw. Okay, go to combat.
Go to combat.
Swinging for 2.
Am I just taking 2, or is there shenanigans happening?
There's no shenanigans.
Okay, so I'm down to 13.
All right, I guess we're going to tap out here for the Stone Coil Serpent. It's a 0/0 reach trample protection from multicolored. Stone Coil Serpent enters the battlefield with X+1 counters on it. So he's going to become a 3/3.
Nice.
So now I'm seeing some degree of
Synergy
with +1 counters, but it's weird because again it's kind of spread out. But I'm getting lucky that so far I do have some of it. Back to you.
Back to me.
Clearly there are better ways in deck to spend 3 mana, but yeah.
Okay. I'm going to play an island. I'm going to tap for 3, and I'm going to cast the Black Bloom Rogue. It is a 2/3 with Menace, which means this creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, and it gets +3/+0 as long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. So that's my whole turn.
That's a big old Millie deck.
I'm going to pass turn to you, sir.
Okay. I'm untapping. Menace, but not flying.
Menace, but not flying yet.
Though he is like she is swinging in the air.
Roguelike.
Yeah. Oh, nimbly pimbly. Like a cat from tree to tree.
I'm going to kill him. I'll pay 2 to cast an instant called Ram Through. Target creature I control deals damage equal to its power to target creature I don't control. If that creature has trample, excess damage would be dealt, but there is no excess damage because it's just a 3/3. So that's my...
I'm going to tap for 2, a black and a blue, and I'm going to cast Drown in the Loch. So I can choose one, it's an instant. Counter target spell with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of cards in its controller's graveyard. You have 3 cards in your graveyard, and that's a converted mana cost of 2. Or I can destroy target creature with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of cards in the controller's graveyard. I'm going to counter spell.
So that is countered.
And that's what I miss the most in Planeswalker decks, is there's no counter spells in Planeswalker decks.
I'll go to combat.
Yes. Still can't do anything but the 3/3 though.
Well, you can block it.
So, shenanigans?
No shenanigans.
Down to 10.
Pass to you.
Pass to me. I'm going to play a Dismal Backwater. Enters the battlefield tapped. I get +1 life. And currently 4 cards in your library, or your graveyard. Pass turn to you.
Okay, on end step.
End step.
Tap 1 and tap the Swarm Shambler to put a +1 counter on it.
Yes.
Not a huge deal, but
no.
Efficient use
Useful.
of lack of mana here. Woohoo. Okay. Let's try this again. Ram through. Bing, bing.
Sadly, that is definitely going to go through this time.
Okay. Now we'll go to combat.
Now we'll go to combat.
Swing with all 3. So that's 2, 3, 6.
6. So I'm down to 5.
Second main phase. Tapping 2 for Sir Farron the Hengehammer. Not Hengemaster. He's out there with those henges. He's a Hengehammer. Legendary creature, Human Knight 2/2. Whenever he attacks, another target attacking creature gets +X/+X to then turn where X is his power.
Nice.
Not great, but I don't know. I kept him in for some reason. on the almighty sideboarding. Maybe because I didn't really see him. Maybe because he has a bear on it. I don't know. Your turn, sir.
My turn? Okay. Untap.
Ooh, he had no instep stuff. I like that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play another Dismal Backwater. So I'm going to gain 1 life. It's going to put me up to 6. I'm going to pay 2 for Vantress Gargoyle. It's an artifact creature gargoyle. It's a 5/4. It's got flying. It can't attack unless defending player has 7 or more cards in their graveyard. And it also can't block unless I have 4 more cards in my hand. I do not have 4 more cards in my hand, and I can tap it. Each player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard.
So it's definitely a card.
So it's a card. It's not the card I needed, but it's probably the card I deserved after the last game. So I will pass the turn to you.
Good stuff. I think I got this here. 'Cause he can't even block right now,
I can't
can
block. I got 1 card in hand.
Yeah, we'll just swing it in. So he will have a trigger. Might as well give it to the trample guy just in case anything weird shenanigans goes. He's going to get +2/+2, so it's 5.
And my island is not going to do the trick. So we're tied up. Thank goodness, because I was really worried about how it would go after that first one.
Me too.
Yeah. So now we're currently tied 1-1. We're going to go on into the third and deciding game of this match.
And I'm curious about that one at this point. Because
it could be anywhere. I think it's really going to, well, obviously most games do, but it's really going to matter how good of a start we have. I thought I had not a bad start, but yeah, it just, it definitely sort of like swarmed into your favor, not even near the end. Pretty much from the get-go sort of thing. So we're going to see how the next game goes and who is going to win the first match of the Challenger Decks Showdown 2021 edition. And we're back in the deciding game of the 2021 Challenger Decks Showdown.
It's tense.
Travis, did you have to mulligan?
I didn't have to mulligan, and I didn't further sideboard. I stuck with my second sideboard.
I didn't have to mulligan, but I did sideboard. So the 3 cards I took out and the 3 cards I put in will have been shown on screen at some point.
There were 3 copies of that golem?
Yes, I'm surprised. I mean, there's definitely an upside to that, but it's also sort of like when you feel like that card burnt you, you kind of want to get it out of there. And I think that
was your top deck to save you too. It was like, really?
Yeah, that was, it was kind of heartbreaking. I mean, it looked great at first because I was like, oh wow, what's the downside? And then when I saw the downside for blocking,
sides, wasn't it plural? Wasn't there like a
well, downside for attacking, but I could care less, or couldn't care less about the attacking at that point. Now, our hands are being shown as well too. Since I did lose, I do get to go first, which is kind of nice. And I'm going to play a swamp. And I'm going to pass the turn to you.
All right. I will draw for the turn. And I will play... I'm going to play the Kaini Ambush as the land.
Okay.
That's what I'm choosing to do. I think you're abusing these cards by just taking them in out of the sleeves. Like,
Well, they do have like the sort of the token things here. So like these can be used instead of
fair enough.
Those. But, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So that comes in tapped.
Comes in tapped, and I pass back to you.
On your end step, I'm going to tap for 1, swamp, and then I'm going to play Thieves Guild Enforcer. It's got flash, it's a 1/1 human rogue, and whenever the Enforcer or another rogue enters the battlefield under my control, each opponent mills 2 cards. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, Thieves Guild Enforcer gets +2/+1 and has Death Touch. So right now it's just a 1/1, but you do have to mill 2 cards because it just entered the battlefield.
Snakeskin Veil, and the Wildborn Preserver.
Nice. So now it's my turn?
Yep.
So untap. Draw. I am going to play an island. And I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
And I swing in for 1.
I take 1, down to 19.
And I'll pass the turn to you, sir.
Untap my Colony territory. Whatever. It's untapped. Play a regular forest, which is so much easier to say. And then what do I want to do here? I want to do this to stay on curve and stop you from attacking. For 2, X = 2, I'll cast my Stone Coil Serpent for 2. Protection from multicolored.
I'm going to tap for 2, and I'm going to cast Drown in the Lock to counter target spell with a converted mana cost less than equal to the number of cards in the controller's graveyard. Now, X is a CMC of 0. So... I apologize.
That's okay.
Because I know counter spells.
And if you hit the board, you get protection from that card, but you didn't hit the board.
Yeah. So sadly, that's the thing. He doesn't have. Yeah, it's not able to. Yeah. As it's forming, becoming its ultimate form. So, sorry, Chaz.
No, it's okay.
My turn. Okay. Tap. Draw. I'm going to play an island. I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
Still swinging with just the 1/1. Still you're at 3 now in your graveyard.
Yeah, because I don't mill on that, just on entry of another.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nope, down to 18.
Pass the turn to you, sir.
Oh, I feel more counter spells coming up. Or even removal. Play a land. That would do for that. This may not be the best play, but I'm going to tap 3 for my giant again. Yoro, Lord of Gardenberg. So if he enters the battlefield, he will enter with 4+1 counters on him.
Okay.
And I get to add more when more creatures come in.
Okay. Now more creatures on your side come in, right?
Yeah, so to double check with myself as well, whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under my control, put a +1 counter on Yoro. If that creature's power is greater than Yoro's power, put another +1 counter on it.
Okay. I'm going to tap for blue and black, and I'm going to flash in Soaring Thought Thief. I saw it before. So because of the Thieves Guild Enforcer, you do have to mill 2 more.
1, 2. So Kalini, from the Kazdu Mammoth and the Ram Through.
And what currently do you have in your?
Like as far as number, or
yeah, number of cards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Okay. So then my turn.
Yep.
Okay. Tap. Draw. I'm going to go to combat.
Okay.
I'm going to swing in with just... that does not have reach, right?
It does not have reach.
I'm going to swing in with the Soaring Thought Thief.
So that's a 2 mil.
That's a 2 mil, yeah.
A Chainweb Arachnir. And another Wildborn Preserver.
So that puts you to 7 in your graveyard?
I'll double check, but yes.
Okay.
7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So dramatic. Okay.
And then I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Sorry.
Oh, did you took the damage from that, right?
No.
Okay, sorry.
That counts. Down 17. My turn. Untap. Draw.
We're both hurting for lands right now, sadly.
So obviously I attack. You can give something that makes me mill even 1 card. That thing's going to get +2/+1 and have Death Touch. But you know what? Sometimes life sucks.
I'm not going to block.
Okay.
So unless there's shenanigans,
There are no shenanigans.
I'm going to take 4 and go down to 16.
We're going to go wide. I'm going to tap 1 for the Love-Struck Beast Adventure to create a 1/1 human, which notably is a white creature, so it will not trigger that. I will do 1 for the Chainweb Archer. It is a green creature, so this will trigger this. Its power is not bigger, so we only get 1+1 counter. The Chainweb Arachnir. Why couldn't you just call it Arachnid? Like, what's an Arachnir? It has cool little arms on it, like human arms. That's pretty creepy. It's 1/2 reach. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature with flying and opponent controls. However, it's only 1 damage, so
Okay.
ping. It does, however, have escape. So for 5 mana, because escape, I don't think we've ever seen escape on the mana cave or anything. So exile 4 creature cards to my graveyard. And so escape, I believe, is you cast this copy from your graveyard for its escape cost. And it escapes with 3+1 counters on it. So I thought, didn't escape means you create like 3 tokens of it? Or I'm thinking of something else maybe.
I think it just does whatever it says in there. I think escape might have different effect with different cards.
We just cast it from escape. That's probably it.
Yeah.
So we get him back.
So it's from your graveyard. You can cast it from your graveyard, correct?
And he enters with 3+1 counters on it, and then he deals. Okay, so now I get it. So that's why his escape cost is 5.
Cool.
Okay. That's.
Now you attacked me, correct?
Yes.
Because I don't think you ever untapped that. But you did attack me.
Yeah, so it was 4 damage.
Oh, you did 4. Okay, so that was before, because I would say it's 5. Yeah, that's right. That all happened before. Okay.
Lots of stuff going on. Lots of reading too. My human came out. I passed you.
Passed to me. Okay. And you got 7 cards in total right now in your graveyard?
I believe, yes. 7 cards.
Okay. I am going to move to combat.
Okay.
I'm going to swing in with the Soaring Thought Thief, which is going to trigger the mill.
So it's 2 in the middle of 3.
It's 2 of the mill.
As long as opponent either more, whenever 1 or more rolls attack. Each one. Oh, so just one. Okay, but just attack with one, so it's 2.
Yeah.
So it's another forest, and a ram through.
Okay, so that's going to now make this a 2/3 because now rogues I control get +2, or +1/+0 as well too. Thieves Guild Enforcer now gets +2/+1 and has Death Touch.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to tap 1 pre blocks to cast Run Afoul. Target opponent sacrifices a creature with flying.
Okay, so I will sacrifice this creature with flying,
And then play a better one.
I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Okay. Now that you have a Death Toucher. Untap, draw.
I'll give it all for a land. That's what I wanted to land.
Play force. Why did I untapped him? I should put something on him so I know he's like on his adventure. I just like untapped him. Like, where did I get the extra 5/5 from? Silly Travis. We're gonna go to combat.
Okay.
So that's a 1/1, that's a 1/2, and that's a 5/5 currently.
Okay. I'm going to tap 1 black, and I'm going to flash out Thieves Guild Enforcer. So you will mill 2 cards.
Another ram through, and another Wobbler Tracker.
And I will block like so. So 1's going to go in front of the 5/5, 1's going to go in front of the 1/2 spider.
Okay.
Damage.
Yep.
So these 2 trade.
Yep.
And then just the spider dies.
Spider does die. Okay, second main phase, I'll tap 3 for another Yordle. It's kind of lost, so not really caring if he died. I do care that you played a second one of those creatures I was hoping to get rid of, but yeah, so that's that, and past you.
Okay. Please be land. Okay, I should have been more specific, but still, it's a land. Dismal Backwater, so it's going to enter tapped. I'm going to go up 1. Now, that can only be... It's a 5/5, and it's only if you have a 1/1 creature?
A 1/1 creature. Doesn't specify... I believe it doesn't specify human or anything like that, or white or green. It says Lovestruck Beast can't attack unless I control a 1/1 creature.
Okay. Pass the turn to you.
Okay. Tap 3. Get him out of his adventure. So he enters. He will take him up to 5. Now is not greater than, so we didn't get that second counter. Because how it would have to be greater. The first trigger happens first, then another one enters, gets that 5th one, their power is equal. I believe that's how that goes.
Okay.
That cost me 3 mana for the Noble Beast. Beast Noble, apparently. Not a noble beast. And,
Now, this still is a Death Touch creature.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
I attack with both.
I will put the Enforcer in front of that one.
All right.
Damage. Down to 16. These trade.
They trade. Why couldn't you have trample these, buddy? And then I pass to you.
Pass to me. And draw. I'm going to tap 2 black and 1 blue to bring out the Nighthawk Scavenger. Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. Its power is equal to 1 plus the number of card types among cards in your opponent's graveyard. So, is it okay if I take a look at your graveyard and figure out what that number might be? So
That number might be.
So creature, instant, so that's 2. Land, that's 3. Artifact is 4. So it's just 4. So it is currently a 5/3 flyer with Death Touch and Lifelink. And I got 1 blue up. I'll pass the turn to you.
Now I really wish I had my other removal earlier that made you sacrifice something. So, I attack, you block, you gain a lot of life. At least in theory it'll die. But You gain a lot of life. Alright, so we're going to do this. And hope this doesn't turn out as bad as I think. I'm going to tap 3 for the Thrashing Brontodon. Then I'm going to tap X is equal to 0 for Primal Might. Target creature I control gets +S+X on turn, X is 0. Then it fights up to one creature I don't control.
Now, fighting is different, right?
Fighting is very different because Death Touch will happen and Lifelink will happen.
Yeah.
So he's a 3/4, but currently your toughness is just 3 on that vampire, right?
Yes.
All right, so that's what I'm attempting to do there.
Okay, so they fight each other.
They fight each other.
I'm going to... now, that is a sorcery, right?
That's a sorcery.
So that would have hit the bin, so I will gain 1 additional life.
Okay.
So I will gain 6 off of that,
yeah.
But I do lose it. I'm up to 22 again.
Okay. Gonna go to combat. Swing for 6.
Swing for 6.
Evens that out, but I don't feel very even because I had a 2 for 1 that.
So that puts me down to 16 again.
And then I pass back to you.
Pass back to me. You know what? I'm just going to do all of this, I guess. I'm going to pay 1, and I'm going to cast Blood Chief's Thirst unkicked to destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 2 or less. Now, it doesn't have to attack with a creature, a 1/1 creature. Just it has to
control it.
Okay. I'm going to pay 1 blue, and I'm going to cast Merfolk Windrobber. It's a Merfolk rogue. It's a 1/1. It's got flying, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player mills a card. I can sacrifice the Windrobber to draw a card. Activate this ability only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, which you currently do.
Plenty.
But I think that's all I'm going to do right now. I'm going to pass the turn now to you.
Untapping stuff. Drawn. Ooh. Okay, so I'm not hitting 7 mana anytime soon, so this isn't the Mythic. Let's see what it can do as a land.
I believe you can pay 3 and have it enter untapped.
Let's see here. As turn Timber Serpentine Woods, or Wood enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield untapped. So I'm going to pay 3 life and have this enter untapped. First time I've ever done that before. I dropped down to 14. Then I'm going to tap 5. Now, does I even want to do this turn? And if I did that, then was that not a mistake? A horrible, horrible mistake? This isn't the greatest play, but it's a play I'm going to do. So I'm going to tap 5. I'm going to activate the escape mechanic or escape ability of my Chain Web Arachnid. So I have to exile 4 other cards. I have chosen 1 of each type. So a creature, a sorcery, an instant, and an artifact creature.
Oh, yeah.
So they're exiled, and he's going to enter the battlefield. So basically I'm casting him as a creature, essentially. He enters the battlefield, but he enters the battlefield with 3+1 counters on him, and then he gets to deal his power to a target creature with flying. So
how many cards do you have left in your graveyard right now?
Probably more than 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, so while you're dealing the damage, or in the middle of dealing the damage, I'm going to activate the ability to sacrifice this and draw a card.
Yeah.
So
one way or another, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone to the bin no matter what, so I do get to draw a card.
Unfortunately, my Chain Web Arachnid is not a 1/1, so I cannot swing with my Lovestruck Beast. He's still Lovestruck and sad. And now does not know any kind of wrath or pain, so I pass to you.
Now,
I am
can he
Lovestruck.
not attack or block? Without
Lovestruck Beast can't attack.
Can't attack.
But he has no reach, so what good is he blocking against your deck?
Bitter!
Why, you're not thinking of getting rid of him, are you? You are thinking of getting rid of him. You have 2 untapped mana on your end step.
I'm going to tap 2, and I'm going to cast... It was a tough decision at this point, especially now. I'm going to cast Heartless Act, so I can choose 1. Destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. So I'm going to destroy target creature with no counters on it.
That did feel pretty heartless.
So, there we go.
There we go. That was a well-named card.
So now it's my turn, so I'm going to untap. I'm still not sure if that was the right choice, but there's method to my madness.
No, I think you put the Lovestruck Beast out of his misery with your Heartless Act.
Okay. So, now what I'm going to do I'm going to tap 1, and I'm going to cast the sorcery Blood Chief's Thirst. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cast 2 or less.
So when he dies, he straight goes back to bed with the escape still on him?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, as far as I know, right? Like because he can keep escaping. Because the idea is that eventually you're going to run out of cards from your graveyard. Correct?
Yeah, and it's not like you make a token of that or anything. It says
No.
exile 4 the cards. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. Yeah. So he goes.
Yeah. So you'll be able to do it again, but right now it's gone. Thankfully, I'm going to tap 3 more, including 1 black, and I'm going to bring out the Black Bloom Rogue. It's got Menace, and it gets +3/+0 as long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, which may not be for too long, but that is what it is. That's my whole turn. Pass it to you.
But he doesn't have flying.
He does not have flying. He does have Menace, though.
No. Untap 5 cards, 5 lands. This is really kind of funny, actually. I keep doing this. I'm going to tap 1 and 2. 1 for the Wildwood Tracker and 1 for the Lovestruck Beast.
Okay.
So, pardon me, to create the
Token for the
token. And then, though, I will tap 3 to take him off his adventure. Meet him back with his bow. Nothing here has any kind of haste. Saddens me. But I will pass back to you because nothing has haste.
To me? Okay.
Yeah. It has Menace, so I can block it now.
So this is currently a 5/5. Oh, sorry, it's
5/3.
currently a 5/3. Yeah,
But that won't
with
take out my
Menace still. Yeah.
Lovestruck Beast.
So I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing in with this. So you do need to block it with 2 creatures if you are going to block it.
And when he deals combat damage to me, I mill more.
No, you don't. It has no effect whatsoever. It's just going to be 5 damage.
I'm going to take it this turn, believe it or not.
Okay. Then before combat damage goes through, I'm going to tap for 4, and I'm going to use the ability on this card, Zareth San the Trickster. It's got Flash. For 2, a blue and a black, return an unblocked attacking rogue you control to its owner's hand. Put Zareth San Tracker from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may put target permanent card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control.
Yikes.
So
I'm only taking 4
this
damage.
goes back to my hand. You're only taking 4 damage. But I do get to take a peek at your graveyard and decide what I would like.
Do they even call it ninjutsu, though? Or?
It's just like ninjutsu, but they don't call it that for whatever reason.
They don't want ninjutsu in standard or something?
That hurt. Yeah, I'm going to put the Lovestruck Beast onto the battlefield. I'm then going to flip this sucker around, and I'm going to use it as a land for Black Bloom Bog. Make that more difficult to say. Enters the battlefield tapped, I can tap it for black. So now I finally have my 5th land, and I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Untap. Draw. Huh. Yeah, sure. Tapping 4 for Garruk Unleashed.
Ooh, the Planeswalker.
He is a 4 mana-costed Planeswalker, enters with 4 loyalty counters on him. His +1 is up to 1 target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. Not bad. His -2 is create a 3/3 beast creature token with nothing. Then, if an opponent controls more creatures than you, put a loyalty counter on Garruk Unleashed. And -7 is I get an emblem with, at the beginning of my end step, I may search my library for a creature card, put it on the battlefield, and then shuffle my library. I'm going for that -7. So I can start by just +1ing him to give a target creature +3/+3 and trample until the end of turn.
Okay.
So he's now an 8/8 with trample, and he swings.
No blocks.
Okay.
So I'm taking 8, and that puts me down to 8.
Okay. Over to you, sir.
My turn?
Yep.
I'm going to play a swamp. to untap my creature. I'm going to swing in with my 4/4.
So he doesn't have menace or anything, right?
He does not have menace, no.
All right. I'm going to block with my human.
Your human? Okay. So it's just going to stop all the damage, sadly, from going through. How many cards do you still have in your graveyard?
Still quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So even if I escape...
Yeah, that's sort of what I was wondering about. So, man, I can't take all that damage again. I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Okay. Tap. Draw. Play another forest. I will up Garruk to +6, or to 6 loyalty, giving my Lovestruck Beast +3/+3 and trample.
Okay.
So then I'm going to swing them both.
Okay. I'm going to tap for 5. I'm going to flash out the Zareth Sand Trickster. Now it's a legendary.
Yeah.
So this is going to go to the graveyard.
Yes, sir.
But that does give me 2 creatures now. I'm going to double block the 8/8.
Okay. So I only get to choose 1 to kill. And I believe it or not, I think it actually has to be the crazy merfolk dude.
Makes more sense.
So you keep your guy.
I am taking 2 though, because that was still +1/+1, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm down to 6.
He hits the bin. Then I tap 1 to put a Lovestruck Beast on an adventure. Create a human. Tap 3 to bring my Lovestruck Beast back. The beast is back. That's my turn. I have no more cards in hand.
Okay. Tap. Draw. I'm going to play Temple of Deceit. So enters tapped, but I do get to scry 1.
How many turns do you have? How many turns do you think you need?
Put that on the bottom. And then I'm going to pay 3. To bring out Black Bloom Rogue. So it's currently a 5/3. And much like you, Hellbent, pass the turn to you.
Okay. So at sorcery speed, I'm going to up Garruk again to 7. So next turn, I can multiple him. So he does now get +3/+3. And doesn't have trample, though. But I'm going to tap 3 for a Kahini Ambush. Target creature I control fights target creature I don't control.
Oh, I think that's going to be it.
No.
Oh, not necessarily.
No.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And I still might lose a creature.
Yeah.
But I will target him. Actually, he does have trample, but it doesn't matter. So he dies.
He does.
Or pardon me, that's on the stack.
Okay.
So he has 5 damage marked on him because this is a straight up fight.
He does, yeah.
So he has 5 damage, but he's an 8. And I go to combat. Now he has to block the big guy, so I'm free to attack with her.
Yeah. Now the big guy has trample, right?
Yes, it does.
So that's going to be it, I think. Because even if I block it, it's only got 3 toughness.
3 toughness, right,
Yeah.
right. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8.
I could not get another land for the longest time. I had those Nojitsu cards in my hand for ages, and I needed something more. Yeah, and it just now, it's not surprising. Yeah, now it's land and a bunch of Merfolk Wind Robbers. I honestly thought I was gonna carry that one. It was looking so good, and then I just couldn't couldn't do it. And then Garruk hitting, being able to pump up that creature.
So he could always attack without any kind of retribution.
And also just the fact that you had the small one, and I got rid of it, and it would come back. Like, that came back so many times. It even came back on my side.
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah, that was, so it's going to end up being mono green Stompy versus, most likely, let's face it, mono red aggro.
Oh, yeah.
But in order to determine that for sure, we are going to be playing in the next match is going to be mono red aggro versus I can't remember the name of the...
They're not intelligent names. I believe it is called Azorius Control.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So Azorius Control. So that's going to be the next one. And I'm obviously going to be piloting the white-blue deck. You are going to be piloting the mono-red aggro.
Good.
And we'll see how that one turns out. But in the meantime, Travis, thank you very much for this.
Thank you for having me.
It's been fun playing something with a whole other level of power to it. Yeah. Like, this was... we were talking about this off camera after the first match and the second match, which were fairly runaway matches for each of us. I was just happy that the third one was a back and forth, like a contest. It felt like it could have gone either way. At times, the life totals were going all over the place, and it was a fun match. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well too.
I thought I might have really blown it by not blocking your guy and letting the ninjutsu, not ninjutsu, go through. And now you've got a big guy on your side plus your other weapons. I thought that was going to cost me the game.
If Garruk was in your graveyard, I could have brought that as the permanent. Like, that would have been great. But I was looking at what could be in there, and honestly, the 5/5, even though it was basically a 5/5 vanilla creature, for me was better than the 4/4 because the 4/4 most likely wasn't going to get any better, and I wanted something that could trade with that. Yeah. But best laid plans and all that. So, anything you can think of that you?
No, I'm surprised he's not for. What's I'm looking for here? For lore purposes, he's not not noble. He's not a legendary creature, which is awesome in this deck because then you can play this one and play that one, and you got 4 copies of each. So as long as you got one, they just synergize with other copies of each other. But if it was a legendary creature, he would not nearly be as awesome because you'd have to be worried about having 2 on. And if she was legendary,
it's kind of strange, right? That he's like because it's based off of a specific sort of like fairy tale, and like because Rankle, which is I think based off of like Rumpelstiltskin, right? That's what. Rankle or Wrinkle or whatever his name is.
Rankle.
He's legendary. So, but yeah, for whatever reason that one isn't. Who knows?
All the better for this deck.
Anyways, folks, we will see you all in the next video. Take care, and if you like the video, drop it a like if you're still watching at this point, and if you really liked the channel, you can subscribe. How's that sound?
Share with a friend.
Take care, everyone, and we'll see you all very soon.